There you go. Alrighty. Good morning, good afternoon. Yeah. Good evening. Good day. Good day, YouTubers. I'm gonna do a video, maybe two, before I get back to sleep. Rough 2 days, 3 days, I don't know. What is today? I think today's Sunday. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Friday, Saturday. Burn some serious healing time, but oh well. You gotta have the mindset to do what has to be done, and I've always had that. The record weekend, which I'll never better, is 52 hours straight. Getting a truck, loading it, driving it, unloading it, driving it, loading it, driving it. And I don't remember if I got there in time to unload. I'm sure I just dropped at that point. Yeah. Slept for a while and then, or maybe the kids unloaded it. I have no idea. I don't remember. I don't know either. Okay, so I do want to cover some things because I feel compelled to get as much, helpful information out there to, I'm kind of figuring that the only people listening to me, there's only like 20 apparently that watch the videos on a regular basis. So I figure that there's some people out there that I may be able to help. I would hope that I have someday better coverage and better reception and better, listening, following, but it is what it is. So anyway, so one of the issues I've talked about, and I'm going to deal with it here just real quick, is on the subject of sanitation, which most people would consider this under that heading as urine. But I'll preface it by saying if you mix 9 parts water to 1 part urine, you have perfect fertilizer for your garden. So really none of us should ever dispose of urine or put it on the ground or put it in a septic tank or put it down the sewer. It's stupid. It's perfect nutrition for plants. Perfect nitrogen for plants, mixed 10 to 1, 9 to 1, whatever, diluted. So, yeah, there's that, as RFB, Richie from Boston, would say. So there's that. The other issue is I thought about the Fremen in Dune, Frank Herbert's Dune, and they had their Stillsuits, and that distilled, they call them Stillsuits because it was a still, it distilled all of their sweat and all of their urine. They just peed and it mixed it with the sweat, and because it was a desert environment, and brilliant idea, and they do have technology to do that. In fact, there's a guy doing I should have screenshot it. Yeah, let me do that. Hang on. I don't know why I didn't. All right, we're rolling again. Sweat to water purifier. Real Dune Stillsuit will save lives. And this was just totally brain dead. I took off on this trip, and it was just going to be like, I knew a one-day turnaround, and I took this, my keyboard. Obviously, I also took the little black thing that plugs into my tablet to run it with. Really bad mistake. No idea where it's at, and I've been looking. So anyway, maybe I'll find it, maybe I won't. Okay, so nobody wants to drink their own processed urine like Kevin Costner did in Waterworld. Lord, no, that's disgusting. But drinking your own sweat like Kyle MacLachlan from Dune, now that's the ticket. So with the help of this new distillation device, blah, 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 people living even in the most parched environments will have easy access to potable water derived from their own bodily fluids. Mainly sweat, simply dubbed the sweat machine. Little technology, blah, blah, who cares? Water to be purified is heated and circulates in the middle of the cassette between the two membranes. The other sides of the membranes are cold surfaces. The difference in vapor pressure between the hot and cold forces the water molecules through, and only these due to the membrane design. Anyway, that's the technology. And there's a picture of it. Help us fight for clean water access to children worldwide. Give us your sweat. Get on our sweat bike. You're going to seriously collect sweat? Take the dare and drink a glass of sweat. What is the cost of transporting sweat? What is the cost of collecting sweat? Somebody's funding something. It's probably a CIA black operation. All right, so what the heck? But point being, and I looked at the clip off of YouTube. And what the heck? I'll do it really quick so I don't get busted. It would be nice someday. Maybe we'll do live streaming and we can have interaction and talk back and forth and, you know, whatever. But, so I just got to ask the question. Does anybody see a problem with that scene? The entire Earth, is there any land? There's land somewhere, I think, toward the end of the movie, or whatever. But there's, you know, the whole world is water. And you're going to seriously tell me you're going to pump urine through a filter of some kind and drink it when there's sorry. Okay, so my point is, and I just started a playlist. It is titled, hey, let's pause again. Okay, a little bit of an education that I'm sure nobody needs, but there are people out there that are technologically challenged, like me, techno-tard, don't know how to copy and paste, you know, left click, scroll up, hold the, see, I haven't done it on a computer, I can do it on the tablet even, it's so simple. Hold the C down, left click, and scroll up, and, you know, see, dang, left click, and then, yeah, cover whatever you're going to do. You can go on for 30 pages. Click C, copy, you know, all Control C, yeah, Control C, copies it. You go to where you want to deposit it, Control P, paste. Pretty damn simple. But the reason for that is, you know, for a long time, I'd get to writing on YouTube comments and just write awesome stuff, and then like, oh, I did it again. But because you can't copy and paste off of YouTube, well, recently I've been able to. So when I write a comment, and I'll check it before I start now, and I try to do it. In other words, if I write it on YouTube, write it on, doggone it, fiddle-dee-dee, Millie. Exit before Babylon, yeah. Steve Quayle. Ooh. Ah! See, this is such a freaking pain in the ass. Go away, go away, go away. Alright, where the hell were we? Okay, so instead of, goddammit. Alright, let's go to, okay. You know, so instead of not being able to, I can write the thing, write a comment, and then click copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. So, you know, all these homesteading channels, it's massively important, you know, to write a little anything without the ability to copy and paste it and put it on 1,500 other channels, with, you know, or 50 channels in a matter of minutes, is just you're wasting your time. You're wasting your life. So we need to start doing that. Get some interaction going, get some training going. Drive. I need to drive more. Traffic to my channel and do more. What do you call it? Social media, which I'm not good at either. So, what the heck ever. Okay, so type in how to get out of Babylon. See if I go how. No, how. It was already there. I know. But boom, how to get out of Babylon. Okay, boom, how to get out of Babylon. If you're not aware of that, that's my channel. And and you'll see this is my biggest playlist here. That how to get out of Babylon / Ozark Plateau, 722 videos. And then it'll pick up, at random other videos. And then if you go to one of those videos, generally down the sidebar here will be, mostly might be Health at 1 anyway. So that's not what I was going to do. I'm going to, hey, 570 videos. This guy's cranking them out. Playlists, okay. Home shows you what I've been doing. Some of my videos. Hotel California. I love it. I got their flash drive coming. Oh, geez. Thousands. And they're going to try to do more recording this year than ever before. Phenomenal. I just, music is great. And when you can do it and have a lesson. Ba, 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 we're lambs. Ba, 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 we're lambs. We're lambs, we're sheep. And to have lessons about Samson and Gideon and Goliath and David and Goliath and on and on and on. Hey, 3,500. Climbing slowly. Okay, playlist, blah, 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 videos, blah, blah, blah. If you go to the channels, obviously, that tells you the channels that the person subscribed to. That primitive times is like, wow. Building that underground house was absolutely amazing. So, Dab Prod, hi. Shout out to Dab Prod. Dan Buchanan. Anyway, all right. So, what on playlists? You're in luck. Why 200 big pharma drugs are urine? Gee, they're urine based. They're urea. I don't know, 200, maybe 500 drugs that some of you use are made from urine. So guess what? You pay $500 or whatever, prescription, high cost prescriptions and stuff. You have it right in front of you. All right. Let's go over these a little bit. Things that I've been doing. Drive now or walk later, of course. I wish I had my clicker thing. God, that's so irritating. Dakota fire hole and trench rocket stoves. That's a new one. Tips on buying your farm or land. Okay, I'm going to collate stuff, whatever, put it in there that have to do with people coming in and looking for a place. Buying a building, buying a, backyard portable building. Right around here, if you look up backyard portable buildings, they're free delivery. They can custom do stuff in 7-day turnaround time. You put whatever money down you want, 200, 500, 1,000, and pay it off. It's rent to own. So there's going to be a lot of people doing that. Better would be to have an aircrete house. Better would be to have an aircrete underground house with a rocket stove in it. But hey, we'll get there eventually, I believe. Speaking it into existence. Grand solar minimum, survive and thrive on the cheap. Good one. Like the videos, whatever. Interlocking, whatever. Aircrete. Firmament homes, aircrete domes, aircrete hobbit homes for humanity. I love that, Hobbit homes for humanity, Habitat. Should have had habitat for humanity. So, and that's the thing. You go through here. Motley Crue and Adullam's Cave. That's huge because that's where a lot of us have been at. I believe a lot of the remnant have been in Adullam's Cave. Basically alone, haunted, pressured, put under stress, the enemy's out to kill you, that's where you've been, but David did eventually get out of the cave and into the palace. So I asked the question of the father, what does it take for a shepherd to become a king? And Sarah Groves has an awesome song. It's on here. Hey, don't tell me. Oh, deleted. I'll bet you that was it. Yep, it had to be. Oh, here it is. The Cave of Adullam by Sarah Groves. What does it take for a shepherd to be a king? Wow, It's just amazing, It's just a thought concept of that. The idea of the thought. The Cave of Adullam was a place where David fled after he was chased down by King Saul. But when you're forced to flee from a narcissistic abuser, sometimes you awaken out of the darkness of years of living in denial. In the dark cave of your shattered dreams, the dawn of a new day appears. The dark night of the soul in a dark cave of despair, watch that, shines the light on a bright new future you could have never had if you had stayed in the circumstances you were in. There are many lessons to learn in the cave while you are there. One thing you will learn, as David did, that God often uses our deepest pain as the launching pad of our greatest calling. Remind me what the anointing oil is for. I need to know you're near me. I need to know you're holding me closely. The day you took my life and gave me the vision, as the day you poured the oil and gave me your dream. I can't believe this is happening. How does a shepherd become a king? Listen to that song. It's awesome. The whole idea, the concept is phenomenal. Anyway, there's some videos under that one. So I was just kind of reviewing those real quick here. New Tech and Energy and Outdoors. Maps of the Ozark Plateau. Usually when I do a series, I'll try to remember right away to do a playlist for them. I don't think I did one on slaughter bunts. That's okay. That's covered. Grand Ice Age, Grand Solar Minimum. Coming Ice Age, Grand Solar Minimum. That's what I titled it. Anyway, Cooking California. Whatsoever you do to the least of these, my brethren, that is going to be key. I just wrote to someone, I'm talking about being in the Cave of Adullam for a while and being homeless and being, having not where to lay my head and being in a home and leaving hungry and leaving thirsty. At times when someone was greedily stuffing their face so fast, I couldn't believe the food could go in that fast. And then knowing I'm hungry, knowing I don't have any food, knowing I'm homeless, because they did it to me, not even offered a glass of water while I washed dishes and cleaned and did things, for them, for her. Anyway, what do you do to the least of these, my brethren? Is people going to hear that on Judgment Day? Depart from me, I never knew you. But, we did, and we raised the dead, and we healed, and we, preached the gospel. And what gospel were you preaching? It wasn't mine, There's a lot of people out there, they're not preaching the gospel. Not in any way, shape, or form. Christian survivalism is an oxy-fracking moron. Picture there in that screenshot there, that's a guy who is the pastor of a huge church. He had been called to the church. He went in and dressed like that. And boy, nobody wanted to talk to him, 333. Wow. Anyway, 30 minutes He walked around. Only 3 people out of the 7 to 10,000 people even said hello to him. So he asked people for change to buy food. No one in the church gave him change. He went to the sanctuary to sit down in front of the church, asked by the ushers if he would please sit in the back. Yeah, just sad. Watch this video. What the heck. He greeted people to be greeted back with stares and dirty looks, with people looking down on him and judging him. As he sat in the back of the church, he listened at the church announcements and such. So anyway, they announced their new pastor, and he staggers to the front, or walks to the front. When all that was done, the elders went up and were excited to introduce the new pastor of the church to the congregation. Wow. Anyway, long story short, we'd like to introduce, he walked up, paused for a moment, and then he recited, "Then the king will say to those on his right, 'Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world.'" And you know the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say. "I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. When did we see you hungry? Whatsoever you did to the least of these, my brethren, he did to you." And after he recited this, he looked toward the congregation, told them that all they had experienced that morning. Many began to cry, many heads were bowed in shame. Then he said, "I see a gathering of people, but not a church of Jesus Christ. The world has enough people, but not enough disciples. When are you going to become disciples?" And that was it. That was the end of service. Case closed. Yeah, wow. 333. 333 means it's time to get in the ark, people. A friend I know, Mill Street Market, Paula, unpronounceable last name, Wakahonta. She went to a prepper meeting in Springfield because she did prepper stuff for years, big time, dead serious, like me. I'm dead serious. I should not be doing what I'm doing right now. I should be asleep for about another 10 hours, but I'm doing this because I feel compelled to. She went to this meeting, so a lot of people have been here. I've seen you. I've been at several meetings, and I've seen a lot of you people here, and and you've been doing that. How many of you have got a year's supply of food? One person raised their hand, maybe, I don't remember. She asked 2 or 3 questions, and then she said, I'm a very busy person. I'm trying to really help people, and you people aren't. You're just here for entertainment. You have no interest in helping yourself. Goodbye. So she was there for like 15 minutes, hour drive, and said, "Nah, I'm out of here. I don't have time to waste on you people. So get real, people. It's time. It's past time." The Peshtigo, Wisconsin fire, the day is going to come when there ain't going to be no highways to drive on, and not going to have your phones, not going to be any communication. Do you realize, there's a picture of a plane there? I was driving by one time, me and the buddy, Vietnam vet, Mad Dog Riley. Only thing I've ever been good at in life is killing people. Wow. I'll tell a story about this character. He was doing computer programming and down in Pueblo, Colorado, and of everybody in the class, the instructor said, "You're the only one that gets this." He was intelligent enough that he was actually grasping and following and learning something. Nobody else in the class was. Bunch of college students, college age. He was, he'd been in Vietnam, 3 tours and all over the world his whole life, killing people. And then Denver Police Department showed up, recruiting. That was the end of programming. He went into police work. Policeman. I won't even go into some of the stories there. He was one of only 3 Denver police cops that bars, the big bars, the dangerous bars, the gay bars and the lesbian bars would hire, because he could handle himself, and he could be the funnest person to be with, very jovial. But if something went down, he could handle himself. So anyway, while on DPD, he went to Ride to the Sun, Daytona. Rode his motorbike, his Harley, the whole way. And he was for a long period of time. He was on the motorcycle division because he loved Harley. So, well, let's see. Who should we put on the motorcycle division? Another just quick story was he was called in. I told this the other day, but I just love this one. He was called into his whatever officer, lieutenant, the boss, the captain, and the guy says, I hear rumors that you're actually carrying your service revolver in your holster, and the holster's unsnapped and the gun's empty. And he whipped it out. Yep, that's correct, sir. And the guy goes, what are you carrying as backup? 45. Cult government model. Oh, okay, good for me. In other words, somebody walks up, sees the unsnapped holster, unsecured holster. The guy grabs it from behind, can't see that it's not loaded. There's not a bullet in it. Busted. Prime opportunity to kill somebody again or whatever. So anyway, at Ride to the Sun, he sees a guy, and he would shave his head every winter. He locks eyes with this guy across big, huge party. I mean, massive party. And they lock eyes. And they instantly, there was a, deep calling unto deep. They knew there was a kindred spirit there. So for 2 days, he hung with this guy and partied with him, and they had a great time. And one of his friends came up to him just shaking. Do you know that guy you've been hanging around with is the enforcer for the blah, blah, blah motorcycle gang? He's killed 32 people. And Don's reaction was like, I knew there was a reason I liked that guy. He's only killed 32. I've killed 32,000, 3,200. Who knows? Anyway. Flipping bunny trail. All right. Well, that didn't take too long. So that was leading up to the picture of the airplane there. Let me pull up and up on the top right there, Civil War II. Read that book, people. Read that book. I'll say it 1,000 times. Read that book. It's free online. You should read it in the next hour. Download it and read it. Educate yourself. It may be worth your life to not be ignorant. It'll definitely be worth your life not to be stupid. And the difference is, you can be ignorant, meaning you just don't know, but I've just done told you. Now, if you don't do it, if you don't read that book, you're stupid. Period. End of story. I know people I've hung around with that haven't read it. I mean, I'm sorry. That's just no excuse for not reading that book. All right, so exactly what I'm trying to get across to you. The only reason history repeats itself is because we refuse to learn from it. They say that the only thing we learn from history, is that if we don't learn from history, we're doomed to repeat it. Well, no, the only thing we really learn from history is that we don't learn anything from history. 99% of the people. So anyway, the question is public roads. And the story I'm getting to here is that we were driving along. It's out toward Parker, Colorado. I was with this guy. 1 mile and 5 debunking the myth. Of course, debunkers. Anytime you have a debunker, they're basically a government troll, government operative, paid. They could be, just debunkers are morons by and large. I mean, they're selling you the scoop. Snopes, real liberal bunch of human excrement. So anyway, we are driving along, and he just freaked out. We said, pull over. He said, oh. He said, a C-130 can land here and take off here. And I was like, and it was like, you know, it was a checkpoint. Every place we have seen or heard of or have driven through a checkpoint, military control. You can land a C-130. If you don't believe me, watch the movie The Darwin Awards. I think that's the name of it. It's with Joseph, or one of their couple of brothers. You know, they're probably clones, but guy that played Martin Luther, Feynman, I think, something like that. Anyway, in that book, this goofball, if you're not familiar with it, Darwin Awards is where you receive this award, generally posthumously, for improving the human race by the human race's gene pool by removing yourself from it. Survival of the fittest, Darwin Awards. So I've said it before, but you know, the concert one, this one I'm going to tell you about, and the hunters one, the ice, is just, you know, just phenomenal. True stories. Kid puts a JTOW on the back of a car. A JTOW is a jet-assisted takeoff. It's for a C-130. It's designed, you put two of them on a C-130, and it will give you takeoff in like 200 feet. Especially a rocket engine. So anyway, the guy put it on his car, you know, oncoming car goes off the road, launches. By this time he has no tires. The steel rims are almost gone, because the tires exploded, burned off, and shattered, and the wheels are burning, the car's ignited, hits an embankment, takes off airborne, and hits a mountain about a mile away. So, true story. Oh yeah, just go to Snopes, it'll dispel it for you, it'll tell you it's not true. Yeah, they tell you everything's not true that's true. It's like, yeah, Snopes would have said that, oh, there's nothing under DIA. After all the years of hearing the rumors, being there when it was being built, and oh, it's being delayed, it's being delayed, it's being delayed, it's being delayed, it's being delayed. You know, it's the luggage system. They're having problems with the luggage system. We heard that for so many years. One day in the Denver Post it said, there's rumors, ha ha ha, that these conspiracy theorist people say that there's tunnels under DIA. Ha 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 ha. That can't be true, because if it was, you'd hear the explosions. Well, number one, DIA is out in the middle of nowhere. And two, you know, you don't build tunnels with explosions. You use these big nuclear reactor-powered drilling machines. You've seen them online. You can see pictures, blah, blah, blah. So at that point, I knew. I knew there was. And then it come when they did the joint games with the Russian Spetsnaz. You know, they issued them and trained on our weapons at Fort Carson, Colorado, to do a joint, quote-unquote, buddy, we are brothers in arms thing, to a joint mock takeover of the CIA headquarters under DIA, who moved there in 2005. Oh, yeah, by the way, it's just old story. They always come up with that, and they always, after the fact, like, oh, yeah, they moved back there. They moved in there back in 2005. There's a Pentagon under. I had a handwritten map of it that was given to me by a guy that worked there. You know, never got it corroborated. I know another guy that when delivery quit a really, really, really good job to go work there just for that reason, and never found anything. Anyway, so, but we caught a spot in the road, and Don flipped. You know, he was just like practically shaking. You know, C-130s land here. So anyway, I have free travel. Bill has been driving the highways for years, delivering buses all over the world, all over the country. And he said he has seen repeatedly at checkpoints, it's not worth checking. They know the bus is empty. You're delivering the bus, it's freaking empty, right? So, but he said multiple times he has been going to checkpoints and seen a woman and her children on pavement at gunpoint, guns at the back of their heads. You know, nothing. You know, planting something, or, you know, whatever, confiscating. You know, read the Declaration of Independence. It's right there. And his officers are sent a swarm, and they're lodging themselves in our, and they're staying in our houses, and they're confiscating things, contraband. Ha ha ha. So anyway, there you go. Travel now would be a whole lot easier than later. Weather, everything. Some of the highways won't be there. Some of the bridges won't be there. I mean, there are plans to blow up the bridge over the Mississippi at Memphis. Well, hello, who's ISIS? CIA, Trump has proven that. I guess he's ready. What do you call it? Imprimatur, directive, for thousands of arrests. So some of the stuff is coming out. He's supposedly clearing the swamp. I don't know. Maybe not. So, all righty. I'm going to pause or probably call it. But I don't know if I was talking or not. Holy crap. Okay, that's not good. Maybe I missed all that. I'm going to recap real quick here and then just call this good because I need to get some sleep. I'm not sure if that took. So, and I can't. This is just a one-time deal. Edit it. So we're driving along toward out by Parker, Colorado, and Don says pull over, and he's just freaking out about the. He says C-130s can land here. Fact. I mean, because he's seen it happen. JATO, takeoff, jet-assisted takeoff. They can land and take off there. 200, 300 feet, 400 feet. So every checkpoint that you've driven through, heard about, or seen is a place where a plane can land. Now, theoretically, the story is that, every 5 miles, quote unquote, but just observe it for yourself. Now, if you're going through treacherous, tortuous mountain terrain, no, they're not going to drop a C-130 in there. But there might be white spots in the road. They know exactly where they can land choppers. And if you don't know what a Osprey, no, Harrier, they vertical. That's a jet that goes vertical. And then there's the big chopper, 4-blade chopper where the engines rotate. Osprey, is that right? Anyway, big crafts can land virtually anywhere. One night, and I said also, I don't know if it's got on there, but Bill, my friend, delivers buses all over, buses empty. He's never been stopped or detained or messed with, but at multiple checkpoints, he's seen women and children on the ground at gunpoint. So, just word to the wise. And take routes that are preferably not through states. Check your state laws. And if you can avoid going through some of the states like Arizona, they will stop and confiscate, and they have detectors where they can read what's in your vehicle. So try to not frequent or go through states that are going to be liable to do that, because you come loaded as a prepper, prime target. And I've been there, done that, and wondered back when. We've made moves with thousands of rounds of ammo and, bunches of guns, and, never got stopped, never had a problem. But, man, it was some iffy times wondering, because back in Denver, it was hairy, back then. So, get here. Let me pause it. All right, now just pretty much pulling a blank on that. I'm going to just do this and then start another topic. The overall point that I'm ending up on here is drive now or walk later. Day may come, you're going to be avoiding those things, and it maybe have to be on foot, bicycle, whatever, backcountry, walking. A lot more predators out, 2-footed, 4-footed. Be careful if you have to go that route. And I'm going to rework my series. I'm just going to do just a brief thing on it here. 20 things you'll need before the next Great Depression starts. And we'll get back to the urinal thing there. Another time, another place, where with one look, It was an article that was done in... this might have been the original one it was published in, but The Economic Collapse. Are you prepared for the coming economic collapse and the next Great Depression? 20 things you will need to survive when the economy collapses and the next Great Depression begins. I'm going to do probably a whole series on that. Will be a whole series because there's some neat. Oh, that's a screenshot, so I can't mess with it. Just a whole bunch of good ideas there, but for me to expound on that have changed since I rewrote that article. Number one, backpack. The hell with the backpack. I mean, have one, but mono wheel, hiking trailers. You cannot. Nobody, unless you're military, can carry 200 pounds. But even the military now are just ecstatic about these trailers because with a guy can haul 200 pounds easily with a trailer. So be aware of that. I'm going to do a series on it. Do your own research on everything, do your own research. But I've done enough. I've been thinking about all this long enough that, pretty much if I say it, take it to the bank, do it. Don't argue. Now you can argue, but it's pricey. It'll cost you. I'll tell you. People come here and they don't listen. Damned expensive. Don't buy local? No, I'm going to buy from Kentucky. Really? How's that going to work out for you? What's the shipping on that house coming from Kentucky? Ever going to get it? Or are you going to be out 15 grand by the time the whole thing's all over because it's a scam? Yeah, sad. All right. Okay, that's it. Good enough. This is Jerry Diamond. If you're listening to this, you are the remnant.